everyone, and welcome. Here's Johnny. We also have our guest today, and also with Larry. We want to welcome everybody to the chat, and if you have anything as far as wanting to ask questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, but make sure you put @Kajun so I can see it and it'll highlight it for me. Let's go real quick and introduce those that are in the chat and welcome everybody. We have Richard, Ford Pinto backwards flip, Jennifer Hayes. We have Cheshire Click. Taylor, Larry, Robert, and I thought it was somebody. Oh, here we go. Then we have Callie Reseller, welcome. And we also have Everyday I'm Hustling, that is Nate, his morning show every week, every day of the week. And we have Tim Powell, welcome. And we have Larry M in the house. Welcome, everyone. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out and supporting the channel and giving us some time of your time for this weekend. We'll start with our guests and let them go ahead and introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about yourself to get started. Also want to welcome the Reseller on the road. Welcome. He's going to be on the live this week coming
What's up, man?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start with Mr. Treasure Click. Is it Michael? That's Michael, isn't it?
Yeah, Michael.
Michael.
Yeah, I'm here in Houston, and I'm pretty much semi-retired, so I do eBay most of the time now, and that's pretty much what I'm up to.
Cool. And about you, Taylor?
Yeah, so my first name's Sean. I go by Taylor Exchange on YouTube. I'm a part-time reseller in North Texas in the Wichita Falls area. I repair copiers for a living, and I started watching some YouTube videos about garage sales, and I thought I could do the same, and I was able to. So I've been loving it ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's fun. All right. I also want to welcome. We have Wolf Toy 13 in the house. Welcome.
Awesome. Wolf Toy.
Now, also, we're going to do is, I see Jennifer's already on the ball. Thank you so much, Jennifer. She's a blessing.
Yes.
If you have not subscribed to both our guests on the channel, go ahead and check out their channel. They're still fairly new with very little subs. So let's go ahead and support them and give them some more subs and start watching their videos because I enjoy them both. I did reach out to both of them, and I was honored to get them both to say yes to come on the show. And so what we were doing is I like to do this on every show, and we basically going to promote, collaborate, network with other channels. And I like to go ahead and try to showcase at least two each video or each live that we do. And so I want to welcome each and every one of y'all. Don't forget to go subscribe to them and watch their videos. Now, we're going to start with you, Michael, because I know you had some issues and you changed your link. For those who might not know that you had the two different ones with the same name, explain to everyone what happened so they know not if they subscribe to the other one to go back and subscribe to you this one.
Well, the one that I had at first was I also called it Treasure Click, but somehow I lost the password. My computer reset, and I didn't write it down, and I couldn't recover it, so I had to start all over. I guess I could put up a link to my channel in the chat would probably be the best way.
Okay. Yeah, because this one here, the new one that he's got, it's actually Treasure Click all together instead of a separate.
Right.
And if you would, go ahead and check and see if you subscribe to the other one. If so, go ahead and subscribe to the new one. And it is in my description in the video below to get the correct link because I did change it there. But it is Treasure Clicks with the exclamation mark all together instead of a space. If you go to the one that's on there now, you'll see that he has about a 50-ish subscribers, and I think you're below 10.
No, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, I pulled it up, Johnny. It's Treasure Click, one word with an exclamation point at the end.
Correct.
It'll be the second one down.
Right.
If it's got 50 subs, it's not the right one because I've only got 7.
Right. And I was number 2 on both times, so I'm pretty lucky to be the first 2 on the many subscribers.
Yeah, you got 8 now. You got 8 now. I just said.
There you go. Well, make sure you subscribe to each other. They're both starting out. How long have you been doing YouTube and or eBay so far, Michael?
Actually, I had a third channel that I also lost when I was just doing a motorcycle channel, and I had about 500 subs on there. I started that one in 2012. But I'm smart now. I'm writing down those passwords. So What happened was I lost that email address, and the only way YouTube would help me recover it was with my previous email address, so I couldn't get an email to that.
Right.
But
And I want to say, Jennifer did just put the new link in the chat, and that is the correct link to go to his new channel. Even though it is the same channel, but he had to change it over. So just make sure you go ahead and subscribe to him and get him back on your list if you have watched him before. And what about you, Taylor? Go ahead.
So I started YouTube about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks. And I started reselling about a year ago. It was the middle of September last year.
Oh, okay.
And Philip, I'm here, by the way.
What you said?
I was telling Philip that I'm here in Houston.
Oh, okay.
From North Texas, so I just want to say
it's hi. Sean. Yeah, Sean.
Sean.
Yeah, I got a buddy in Houston, actually.
I'll go back and sub your channel too.
Excellent.
And one last thing, Johnny, really thanks for inviting me. I'm happy to be here. Now I'll shut up.
No, you're fine. We're here to promote both of y'all. And that's what this is about. Yeah. So make sure y'all go and subscribe to both of them. And we also want to welcome Sweet Texas Fine in the house. The Texas are representing today. So yeah, if y'all haven't subscribed before, I know Jennifer's been putting links in the chat. Go ahead and check them out. Go ahead and subscribe to them and get them some subscribe numbers to get a little higher for them. And so what we'll do is, if y'all have any questions, please do me a favor, put it in the chat. Go ahead and put @CajunRoots so I can see it. Make sure I don't miss anything, because when I'm in the chat, it does fly. So I don't want to miss anyone's comments or questions. Also, as everyone knows, and those that are new to the channel, I want to welcome each and every one of y'all. Each and every week, y'all take the time out to come and be with us. But also, don't forget to put your links, especially Jennifer, in the chat, because that's one thing she does not do. She puts everyone else's links in, but she never puts her own. So let's make sure we put her link in the chat for her as well. And I thank y'all for doing that. And this is what it's all about, is networking and collaborating with each other. So, and also, if y'all wanting to promote your channel and you haven't done so yet, or you would like to just come back on, once I tell everyone, once you're a guest, you always have open invitation. So please reach out to me in the description bars below in this video and all my videos. You can reach me at any kind of area where it's email, Facebook, or Instagram, and I'll be honored to put you on the calendar with the next available date. I'm always looking for a head so I can get the calendar switched up in case somebody has to cancel, and I'll give somebody else a chance to pull up in that slot. So let's start with you, Sean, as far as what got you started, and maybe tell us a little bit about the platform you sell on, if you sell on multiple platforms and that kind of thing.
Sure.
Thank you, Jennifer.
So my wife and I bought a house in 2016, and we were furnishing it with garage sales. You know, we'd go out every weekend, see what we could find, because we didn't have a whole lot of money at the time. And for a while there, she said, you know what, we need to stop going. You're just buying stuff to buy stuff. And I was like, yeah, there's always good stuff there, you know, constantly. So I got to my house, and I think I had stumbled upon like a lawn mowing video, and I was like, I never really got on YouTube much. So I just typed in garage sales, and I think Cincinnati Picker was the first video I saw. And I thought he was just going there filming, and then that was it. But then he went back to his shop and showed all the sales, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I fell into the rabbit hole. Like I took that blue pill, you know, and I got into a lot of Josh. I know he's gone kind of dark right now, but yeah, he was about my age, and you know, I really latched onto it. So I think I watched videos for maybe a month, and then I said, you know what, let me set up an account and see if I can sell anything. And the first item I sold was these Oakleys right here. I got these, and I had the case, and I never used the case, and I was going to throw it out, and I listed it for $9.99, and it sold in 2 hours for $9 free shipping. So I made like $4 or something, and I said, man, is that money really there? Like, did I really just make that? You know, and I was all nervous about shipping. So
good feeling.
I made it there. And yeah, since then I just, you know, it was a slow crawl. I had no capital. You know, I think I had like $40, and I bought a couple lights, and I just bought a few items. And then the next month I used that money and kept rolling it back in. Now I'm getting into the problem. Again. Hey, let me know if I'm rambling. I talk a lot. Let me know if I'm rambling.
Fine. Larry, repeat what you said.
Larry likes it. I think he's enjoying the story.
Yes.
Okay.
So, nonetheless, yeah. So I kind of ran into the problem now where I'm taking out that money and spending it on my own. We bought my wife a car back in May, so I dropped a few grand to down payment, and then my car recently broke down the transmission, and I just put 4 into my new truck. So, but eBay's going to sustain those payments, and I love it. I honestly wish I could do it full time. Now I have a huge note on the truck, and my wife's, so I pretty much told myself I'm going to work full time for another whole physical year. And then maybe what it would be 2022, possibly take a leap and see what I can do.
Right. Also want to welcome Rhonda in the house. It's R. Gertman. Thank you for coming and supporting us. And Sweet Texas Fine says that she was here to support us. She's on the road. Thank you so much, Sweet Texas Fine. Lorraine. And so, what about you, Michael?
Well, 1998, I bought a scratch-off ticket and won $1,000, and I said, I don't want to spend this. I don't want to put it in a savings account. So I got with a coin dealer in Austin, and I bought $1,000 worth of silver coins. 3 weeks later, the silver market went through the roof, and I'm trying to think of how do I capitalize on this? So I put those coins on eBay and probably just about tripled my money within 3 weeks.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
After that, my oldest daughter wanted a Peace Bear Beanie Baby. And we drove around and I got to looking for Peace Bears and they were all $50. And I just said, there's no way I'm going to spend $50 on a Peace Bear. So I got onto eBay and I found a Peace Bear and a Curly Bear for $50. So I said, okay, well, that's 2 for 1. So as soon as I got the bears, I put the Curly Bear back on eBay, flipped it for $50. So I got my Peace Bear free, and I had a long run with the Beanie Babies after that. And I'll tell you, over the years, eBay has helped me put 2 daughters through college with no debt.
Oh, wow.
I'm an eBay fan for sure.
Awesome.
When I had my hair salon, I would do consignments for my customers, and I've sold just about everything on eBay over the years. It's been really good. So
also want to welcome in the chat Paul, Gate City Pickers. Welcome. He was our guest last week during the week. And then also see West Side Gary in the house. Welcome. Did I miss anyone? I think I got everybody now.
Craig just showed up.
If y'all haven't subbed to Paul, the Gate City Pickers, go subscribe to him. He's only 16 away from 300.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. Well, 15 now. Check him out. And so, go ahead.
Well, I've been wanting to get to 100 because when you get to 100, you can change the name of your YouTube channel to YouTube / your channel name.
The URL.
The URL, right.
Yeah, so I'm putting.
You can start doing lives too.
My orders, and I'd like to print that on there, but it's a long, drawn out name right now.
Yeah, it's not too bad though. But yeah, once you get 100, there's so much different things you can do, even doing lives once you hit 100.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get them up to some numbers up there. And John, what's your subscribe numbers look like right now?
Mine?
I haven't checked it in a while.
141 was before the show. So
okay. I also want to welcome Adam's Exploits. Welcome, and we also have Land Shark in the house. So, for the chat that may not know both of you, because y'all pretty fairly new and they don't know much about you, what was like the biggest flip you ever found, and or even the worst flip that you didn't think you could even flip for very little money?
Dang. I'll go first, I guess. So do you want the worst or the best?
Whatever you want to share first.
Okay. So I'll just say the best. And I wish I could have found it myself, but I was at a thrift store and there's 2 gentlemen that they've been selling for a long time. They're brothers, and they knew I got into the VCRs and whatnot. Well, they handed me this barcode scanner, and he said, look, I know you sell electronics. I'm not really into the game. So if you want to sell this, you should. And it was like, $2.99. And I didn't know. He said, well, the SD card inside it alone is worth, $20. And I said, okay. So I got home and, I listed it. I put it for $149.99, and somebody was offered. They sent me a message and said, like, does it work? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, it turns on. I don't know how it works, but it does turn on. And he said, well, these are pretty low. They're on eBay for like $600. And then I instantly took the listing down and I looked it up, like, and they sell new for like $1,200. So I posted it for $399 and it sold full price like within a few hours.
Wow.
So I made I think it was $340 after fees and all that stuff.
Right.
So, and he
Awesome.
handed it to me in the store. So I kind of wanted to give him like $20, but I actually haven't seen him because that was right before the virus. It was in March.
Right.
So worst flip though. I just sold it actually. So when I first started in September, I was doing Let Go a lot, and I used to sell on Let Go, just here and there. And this guy had a Easton Mako baseball bat, and it was a high school level bat, and they sell for like 120 if they're in good condition. Well, it was in the fall, so there's fall ball, but there's no spring baseball, and I bought it I paid like $45 for it. And I was like, okay, this will sell for 100 at least, and then I'll make, whatever. So I listed it for 100 or 119. It just didn't sell, and I ended up dropping it all the way to $49.99. And I think I took an offer of like $40, and I ended up shipping it out. Looking back, I probably should have kept it, but I couldn't look at it anymore. I'd rather take the loss and somebody get a nice bat and I think it's because I had some chips on the barrel, and people just didn't want it. So maybe I should have waited till next spring, but now this spring's kind of, I don't know if people are playing ball right now, but I've sold a couple gloves, so maybe they are.
Yeah, because I've been selling some gloves here and there as well.
I think they are. I know my friend, their granddaughter plays softball, and I think she's playing. But I know football is shot. I don't think college is playing. The local college here isn't.
Yeah, they're starting to.
Yeah. Well, the RG2 college isn't. I think high school is, which it's weird. I mean, everyone's just doing whatever they think they want to do, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh wait, there's already 2 outbreaks in the schools, and I think they open Thursday. So.
In fact, I think kids baseball or softball is going on because by our American Legion, there was a big game happening. Looked like kids. So
wow, it's just whatever part of the country, I guess. I don't know. And then getting back before we jump into what was your name again at Treasure Click? Your first name?
Oh, that's Michael.
Michael.
Michael. Yes.
Before Michael shares, 'cause I'm sure he's going to trump mine with the way he opened. I know he's going to trump that. But when you asked about selling on different platforms, my first month I did all the platforms because I was already doing Let Go. So I started an Amazon one. I did Mercari. I sold a few things on there, and then Poshmark. I listed one item, and they send you all those chairs or something. And I was just like, this is kind of freaking me out. It was way too much. And my mom said, hey, how about you just stick to eBay since you're already selling the most on there? Because I had the most listings there, and master that, and then you can branch out. And since then, I don't even feel like messing with the other platforms. They're kind of inferior, other than Amazon, but your profit margins seem to be a little slimmer. So,
correct. I want to also welcome in the chat. We have Copper State Treasures. If y'all have not subscribed to her, that is Lisa. Y'all need to check her out. She has this awesome, funny, if you need a good laugh, she just started last Saturday night, and it is hilarious. And y'all need to make sure you put your link in the chat, Lisa, because we need to have other people go and check your channel out, and she needs a lot of watch hours and subs. So let's get her up there as well. She was on there again last night. She started a new channel video that she does live for about an hour, and it's basically showcasing other YouTube video channels that might do YouTube channels. You get maybe 10 minutes to basically promote yourself, like they call it elevator promotion kind of thing, interview kind of thing. So go check them out. Don't forget to put your link in the chat, Lisa.
She's with Victoria.
Victoria, right. Brittany Brand's in the house. Welcome, Brittany. And I think I'm caught up. And if I haven't said your name or I didn't mention your name, please let me know, because I'm not one that wants to forget or miss anyone. But there does happen when the chat flies sometimes. Mm-hmm. So we'll go ahead now and go with Michael, and let us hear what you had to go, what you went through on that.
Well, I took some jewelry on consignment in the year 2000, and I actually flipped. The appraiser called it a Joey Bag of Donuts ring. 2.5 carat men's VVS1 diamond ring, and I sold that ring on eBay for $32,575, and I got 25% of that. but let me tell you, it's a real nail biter because doing those kind of items, I had to worry about. I was in possession of that property. I had to buy a safe. I had to fly it to Florida so I could give it to the guy personally, make sure I had good funds. I don't really, back then I had a business, so I had a little bit of backup behind me if something went wrong. But these days I probably wouldn't take on something like that. But I like the little ones too. They all add up, and I sell a lot of stuff for $10 to $100, and I just I love to sell just whatever people want to buy. So
when you ship that thing off, Michael, how nervous were you? Like,
I didn't ship it. I personally took it.
Okay, that's smart. Wow.
I was watching Pete the other day, Craigslist hunter. He sold something in that price range and drove to North Carolina and hand delivered it.
He sure did.
That's tremendous.
You just can't afford to lose somebody else's property because that would have ruined me. So, and then you have to make sure the funds are certified. And I actually sold several pieces of jewelry for that lady, but that was the biggest one. And it was a rare turn of the century hand cut. So that made them even more valuable. And I had to find an appraiser who was qualified to do it. And $250 a piece to get those things appraised, because without a good appraisal, you'll never sell something like that on eBay.
Especially for that good amount, right?
Yeah.
All right, we have a question for you, Taylor. Can you pitch? The Phillies need some relievers.
Yeah, I was actually typing out a response. That was funny. No, actually, I used to catch and play third base in high school. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I still, you know what? I still like to go throw, but I only have one friend, and he's trying to be a doctor, so he has like zero time to throw, but he can still like competitive level throwing, I call it, if you can throw 70 or 70 miles an hour. So.
That is amazing too, because I love watching baseball where at times when you see that little square box of how fast that ball is going. That is amazing. Radar.
See, and with the GoPro now, like I kind of want to start GoPro and stuff like that, like just throwing the ball, because when it comes at you, I mean, yeah, you got to kind of be ready, and I think it'd look cool on video. So I really want to start experimenting with that,
Oh, cool.
So, like mowing my lawn, like just put it on the backpack and do that kind of thing.
Right.
I just need to figure out like good music to use for YouTube. I don't really know.
What are you using as far as your music?
None. I haven't put much music in at all. Like I used to just YouTube like background music and just like look for someone kind of small. But I want to talk to some local musicians in town and see if they'll just let me use their music, some instrumentals or whatever, and just kind of go that route. I think that's what I want to do. I just, with the virus, everyone's so like, locked in kind of thing.
Well, the fun thing about it though, I use a lot of my music through either YouTube or I use Filmora. But 9 times out of 10, I get my music, like the music that I did for like my intro and stuff and all my videos, I got that through YouTube. And you can basically look up different songs, and when you do, you can download it into a MP4 file. That way you can use them in your videos. Now, if for some reason you do something where you need to get a permission, usually through the YouTube channel, they'll tell you can use that song, but you need to copy and paste the link, have it in your description so you don't get dinged on it.
Gotcha.
Well, how do they call it?
Copyright claim.
Copyright
strike. I just got one. Yeah. So you get claims before strikes, but if you handle it correctly, you get a claim and then they take it away.
Correct.
Because I had some music in the background during one of my videos and I didn't really think about it. But yeah, I learned that real quick. It happened within like 2 minutes of posting, It's pretty wild.
You don't get a strike though if you're inside like Walmart and they're playing music in the background and you're scanning things away, you're recording, you won't get a strike.
Oh, yes, you can.
I heard they stopped that because it's part of the store.
Nope. You have to play some kind of music over the ones that are legally, or you make sure you find the song to get the title, copyright to put in your description more. Okay. In the description box of your video. In fact, you hear it in a lot of videos where they have to play over it or talk over it or things like that. Because especially if you're monetized, you can get demonetized for that. And if something happens and you're playing that song instead of pulling your video, they would take your monetization of the money you made for that video and send it to the person that you played that music for, without getting a copyright.
No,
I
That's
okay.
what the claim said. Yeah.
I wonder
That's
if
why I
you just
mentioned out there, and I reached out to you when you did that one video that we were watching, and I immediately heard and sent you that message, only to look out for yourself because it was a great video, and it's a shame if you do all that work and you get taken down for it. So that's what's a good thing about when you're watching someone else's videos is always be kind and ship them a nice message letting somebody know something, especially if they're new at it. So that was it's just a learning tool for them. That's all.
I wonder if you just break out a guitar and start doing some Beatles song or something, if they'll strike you for covering somebody else's music.
Now I did have a guest on our show. His name, I'm drawing a blank, but he does karaoke. And there's another thing what they do is if you're playing certain songs, instead of you getting a copyright, you get a copy or a copy strike. You don't get a copy strike, you get something else. But the money that you're making, that royalties for them goes straight to them anyway. So
Yeah, and I can share just because I just got one this week. But what it is if you get 3 copyright strikes, I think they delete your channel completely. And if you
Really?
and if you have original content like most of us, because I had a little bit of Linkin Park playing in the background, it was a copyright claim. And they said you have a few options. You can either mute out the whole section, you can either take the video down, and then there's one other option. I can't remember what it was, but they said the quickest option to resolve the issue is to mute out the section. And then they actually left about 2 seconds of the song at the very end of the section. But they did put a note and they said, if you leave it up, all the money will go to Warner Records Studio if you become monetized. I'm obviously not monetized. So,
right.
But yeah, if it's original content. Now, if you upload like a Taylor Swift video and that's all it's on your page, you're going to probably get a strike instantly because you're just trying to attract the amount of, the subs or whatever.
Okay.
So
Now I want to welcome Tommy, and he also makes a comment. He says the claim or strike. That's the two that they use. Depending on the label, nothing to do with the owner. Most likely, the only claim in taking your revenue from your replays. He said, I get claims all the time, and no big deal. The strikes are the big deal. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was either claims or something because of the fact that they get the money for it if you do it. Yeah.
And see, just what he said about the claims, I was like, what if you put awesome music and you get a bunch of claims, but you get a lot of followers, and then all of a sudden when you're monetized, you just cut all those videos out, but you gathered it through like the great artists and stuff. But I was kind of like, I don't really want to dabble in that water, But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it may be all right though.
Yeah, Mr. Skit Underpants Show is in the chat. Welcome. And let's see, did I miss anyone? Yeah. Now you have a question here. That's Brittany. She wants to know exactly how do you spell your name. She spells it different ways to see which one might be right.
Yeah, I answered her in the chat, but it's Sean, Sean. My grandma actually picked that on my dad's side. They're Irish, that side of the family, and my mom's side's Panamanian. If you guys wonder where my color comes from, but yeah, it's the Irish Gaelic spelling. So,
oh, cool. Yeah, Wendell. That's who it was. Wendell is a one that he does a lot of music and he does a lot of karaoke. And he was on the show one day where he was telling us about how you can do it where you can get a claim, not a strike. And that's why he gets away with karaoke.
Well, I got a friend I watch, Bill Gowdy, and he's always playing music in the background to his. He's out fishing with his radio on, and I asked him about it. And he's got 10,000 subs, but he hasn't monetized his channel, so he gets a warning every time, but they don't take him down for it.
Right. Well, let's see if we can get Larry to 400. He's getting close from what I understand.
Go, Larry.
Guy, Larry.
Yeah, and I see that comment that Ty made. I remember that happening with Billy Joel. And you got to come down just a little bit. There you go.
I see it, yeah. I know, I'm trying to keep up with the chat through the...
Yeah.
Keelan, kiss him in the house. Welcome, baby. Let's
Keelan.
Matt, Rhonda says, Matt Romeo is a new reseller to the community and just uploaded his first video. Oh, wow.
Oh, all right.
Let's check that one out and make sure you can always make sure when you go to someone's link in the chat so you don't leave the chat, you can always right-click it and then turn around and go watch it later and put it in your watch list. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. I'm going to have to add that one later. All right. Well, thank you.
I think first videos are awesome. I try to look for people's first videos because I know mine. I just a straight run, no edits or nothing. And
right.
So
I still go back and watch a lot of my older videos so I could see because some people are still going back and watching them, but I've never changed it. I never edited it. I just went ahead and put it up there. And every now and then I'll still look at it because when Larry and I started doing lives back in March, I went back about a month or two later and I started watching our first lives. And so what I did was I had everyone that was on our first live come back again, and we did a retake. But even though it was still live, we did a retake with the same guest. That was pretty cool. Yeah, you learn from your mistakes a lot.
Well,
I was excited but nervous at the same time. But once you get it done, that's it. Walt and Sarah, welcome. The first time I see y'all in the chat. Congratulations on finding us. How did you get to hear from us?
I think you got another new one in there.
Oh, cool. Go ahead and if someone can find their link and put it in the chat. We see we have. Oh, this chat's fine.
Carl said they're from Ireland.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Belfast.
Yeah, I think you got another new one in here too.
Carol OB.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carol. I said Carl. Carol.
Yeah, that's right. And then we got Ben Flippin in the chat. Shout out to my channel. Okay, Ben Flippin. Do you have a channel? And if you do, let us know your name. Alton Sarah. If somebody can find their links and let's see what they're about. Is there anything you would like to at least for anyone who's starting out new, something that you may have learned as far as what to do or what not to do, since y'all fairly new at it, that you would like to share with the chat?
I'm not fairly new. I'm not fairly new, but I can tell you don't use the word Velcro in any of your listings.
No.
I found out.
Arena's because she's stopped. Make sure y'all sub to each other and support the channels. What about you, Sean?
Sorry. Did you say on YouTube? Or my wife was nervous because she handed me a beer and she was like stretching it out like really far.
You're fine as long as you do it from the side.
So where's ours? We need a beer.
It's
Where's
Saturday.
Yeah. So there you go, Mike. Did you mean on YouTube or eBay?
eBay.
And you're saying what's one of the things to watch out for?
Yeah, like if someone was to be just starting out and they didn't know maybe what's the worst thing to not do, and maybe one of the best tips that you would like to share that you've learned yourself.
Okay. Worst thing is don't send the wrong item to anybody. I sent the wrong pair of jeans to somebody like recently. So I've upped my store to about 240-ish listings. And I had, I think, 5 pairs of 7 of All Mankind jeans. And one of them was an off-brand pair that I bought by mistake because I thought it was the legit kind. And that's the one I sent to her. She sent me a message and I read it like 3 minutes after she sent it. And then I was at work because I work full time. So I was like trying frantically to like message her back and say, don't worry, I'll send you the correct ones and I'll, pay for shipping. And then like 2 minutes later, or 2 minutes before I sent that message, she had already started a refund and was like, I'm so disappointed. Well, I sent her the jeans anyway.
Oh, wow. So
because it's not like I don't want the negative feedback. I just don't want somebody's to feel that way, like that's terrible, so definitely send the right items, like double check. Yeah. And I guess the other way that can happen is if you put the wrong label on something, you swap up the packages. But a pro tip to look out for, if you're low on capital, make sure to look every single item up before you buy it. Don't think you can just go in there and be like, oh, well, this is great. Like I can buy it. Look up every single one and look up sell-through rate. Like if you're trying to make money quickly, the only way you're going to do that is get items that sell quickly. Otherwise, you may make, what is it, like the slow dime or fast nickel,
Right.
Yeah, if you're trying to build capital so you can have that power to go out and spend $200 on just, stuff to resell.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely want to look that sell-through rate up.
And congrats to Brittany. She hit 300.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Let's make sure you subscribe to Brittany because she's awesome.
Well, way to go.
I tell you, I've seen Matt, the part-time picker, sell some stuff that I would have never thought you could sell on eBay. 20-year-old diapers.
Yeah.
who'd have thought underwear? I mean, new in the package,
Yeah.
but Sean, is it?
Yes, sir.
I got a good one for you. I packaged up something last week and stuck it in the hopper in the mailbox and completely forgot to pull my label off the Rolo. So I put it in there with no label. And you know what? Fortunately, I had a packing slip in the box, so the post office opened it up and brought me back the package.
That's pretty cool that they did that.
Yeah. So I mean, it can go wrong.
Yeah, because I know I saw one of lots of Josh's videos where he had a whole bunch of packages and one of them he forgot to put a label on, and he went through all kind of trouble trying to get that one back.
I think that was the shirt, the long sleeve button down shirt. Yeah, he was frantically. He sent the wrong one, is what it was. Yeah,
right.
I loved his videos, man. He was really raw, you know, and that's what I wanted.
That was one of my first videos I started watching too.
Yeah. So another thing you mentioned, like the things to sell, empty boxes. You know, like I've sold Beats headphones, empty box at Christmas this last year. My brother-in-law got a pair of the Beats, and the box was actually ripped. And I looked it up, and it was going for about $35, and I listed it for $39.99, and I accepted a $27 offer, and I made $14.
Wow.
So if you like, iPhone boxes are a big one. So a regular phone box sells for $10. So if you can gather up like 5 of them, you know, list them for $50 and
right. All right, I want to welcome, and I also want to make sure we do show some love for Tesla Picker. That's Dave. If you have not watched his channel, it is something you must watch because he's hilarious. He's got funny little clips throughout his video. Even his children are involved, and he works nights or late nights, and then he turns around and goes shopping. There's something y'all can learn from him. And he makes designer socks, which are these right here.
Is he here right now?
He's in the chat. Tesla Picker, that's Dave. He made these socks for me. And I also made a pair and I sent those to my dad.
I just saw him in Guys Without Jobs.
Yes, he was on there. He was the first guest on their they do a podcast.
Every week.
Yes.
That's saying something too, because those guys are like they're pretty OG.
And I think what it was, from if I understand correctly, because he was the first guest, it was because when they first did their first podcast, he was the first guest who sent in a letter to their podcast, and so it just became back in a complete circle that he became the first guest.
I saw a video he made where he had just I think he rented like an office space or something. I don't know if he followed through with that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Okay,
he's basically moving everything out of his house to that new place with his neighbor. It's a best friend of his. And they basically going in together, and they made it to where he has his inventory, his office, and things like that. Also, Joey got a Bing 22 in the house. That's your local mailman in Florida.
What's up,
to check
Joey?
him out as well. Him and his girlfriend, Brittany. I forgot her name. Destiny.
Francesca.
Destiny. They both. She just started on. She was one of our guests as well with them on a Wednesday, and she started selling on eBay as well. That's another channel y'all might want to go check out. Paul, he also does lots of auctions, so don't forget to check him out as well. Don't forget to put y'all links in the chat for everyone to go and check the channels out. Yes, I understand that everywhere in the South is very hot, and I'm so glad I'm not down there anymore.
Yeah, it's hot today, man.
Not to rub it in, but we've been having 58 in the night, in the early morning temperatures, and the daytime there's been about 75, no hotter than 80 up here.
Where are you at?
In Massachusetts.
Oh, I thought you were in Louisiana with your intro.
I was born and raised in Louisiana, but I just moved up here a year ago.
Okay.
So that's when I actually started my eBay, and then I started YouTube on November 28th on Thanksgiving Day last year.
Oh, okay.
It's all fairly new to me, but I'm still learning as I go. I've learned bad buys, I've learned good buys, and I've learned not to buy something at all.
So yeah, on bad buys, if I pick something up that's no good, I try to sell it as fast as possible, even to make $1, because I just don't want to look at it. I know I'm just like, like I picked up some Nikes. I actually had a guy buy them at a garage sale. He sent me photos while I was at work. I had him buy a pair of Bobs and a pair of Nikes, and I thought they were basketball shoes. They were like tennis court shoes. And I got them back, and I could only list them for $29.99 with free shipping. So I took an offer of $20 just to get them out of my house, and I made like $1. So
Also, if you haven't checked out Try Flippers, they were one of our guests. They're fairly new at eBay and also YouTube. They're a married couple. Don't forget to put y'all links in the chat so everybody can go and check you out and subscribe to your channels. They're an awesome couple and good to be watching some of their videos as well. That's one thing about different YouTube channels. You can learn something for things you shouldn't do or shouldn't buy and what you should buy and what you might want to look out for kind of thing. And that's what I recommend, and that's why I like doing this type of video lives, because that way it brings a lot of people together where you can learn from other people, either their mistakes or their great finds or gems, whatever you might want to call it.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any questions for the guests, go ahead and put it in the chat. Let us know so we make sure we can get it answered for you. Sean is actually Taylor Exchange, and then Michael is the Treasure Click.
Well, I was just going to say, Sean, don't give up on your stuff. Just put it in your store. And, all of a sudden one day, 5 or 6 months later, you'll hear a cha-ching and you've sold it and you didn't expect to, don't give up on it.
The thing with that is, I have a 10 by 13 bedroom, and that's all the space right now I have. I need to build a shed. I plan to build one next spring. So I'm going to turn I have a oversized garage. I'm going to turn half of that into my inventory, space. And the other half will be for weights and kind of chilling out.
Okay.
But I just don't have the space. And honestly, it's like I should have known better. Those shoes were $750 I paid, and I could only list them for $30. Like even if I do sell it for $30, I'm only gonna make like $12, $11. Like I'll just take the dollar and say, you know what? Now I don't have to look at this. I don't have to move it around. That's just my opinion.
It all adds up.
I also want to welcome Cali Reseller Lewis in the chat, and also Lady Love Junk and DC Sale. Now, I know I love giving shout outs because that's what this is all about. And I'm doing one again for something I have on the wall behind me. If y'all are looking for a personalized, your own license plate, DC Sales is the one to go with. She's done this one. And she's done this one. Cajun Roots Reseller, what you see in my intro and my exit. That is by DC Sales. So DC, put your link in the chat for everybody to check you out, girlfriend. She does fabulous work. Does a link where she goes in, you pick your design, you tell her what you want, and she does it just like with Dave with his socks. If you're always looking for a good novelty item to give to someone as a gift, those are your people to look for. And Danica, Lady Love Junk, she's going to be Danica, if you would put the link in the chat for tonight. They do their live comedy show, which started last Saturday night. So that's something you might want to go check out if you want a really good laugh. Let's see. My wife bought some damaged pants, and I was just trying to dye them to get rid of it. I hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just never know. Sometimes, like, there are some things you may have to sit on for a while, but then there's some things that just fly out fast.
I would just garage sale those pants.
Exactly. Now, Paul asked if does a lot of Massachusetts still have front license plates? Yes, they do. That was one of the first states I've ever lived in, because I only lived in Louisiana most of my life until a year ago. And they have both front and back license plates. One thing I like about it up here, though, their driver's license and stuff like last longer than extended than your required in the States. DC Sales, there's her link for her channel items that she does. But she also has a link to where you can go into the videos, and I believe it's in the descriptions below. And I think I still have them in my videos as well. When I bought those from her. I got my license plates. She also does keychains and all that kind of stuff. I've given these away for my 500 sub giveaway, and she actually made these for me. They're little keychains. So yes, if y'all are looking for different personalized stuff, very inexpensive, check her out. Let's see, Harry Humstone, welcome. Larry, guys know how you are. I'm doing great. I'm always
good.
Danica Noel new show tonight. Okay, so they're doing a new show tonight. Make sure we put the link in there so everybody can go check you out. There is I'm having a brain freeze. They do it as a group together though.
No, not Johnny. Johnny doesn't have those. Johnny doesn't have brain freezes.
Yes, I do. I'll be glad to be the first one to tell you I get them.
Hey, do you chew, Larry?
So, Barton?
Do you chew?
No,
Okay. I thought you had like a chew in maybe.
no.
I was a big fan of that for a while. I love it. If I smell it, like I want to buy it, you know.
Years ago.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're-
DC does different personalized license plates. She does keychains. You name it. Check her out. If she can put her link to the, I want to say it's through eBay. You can find it. She does all that through eBay.
Who in the world?
Huh?
Greg Stewart, Rocky Mountains.
I saw it, but I don't see it anymore.
That's a new one.
Oh, here it is. Greg
Yeah, I know
Stewart.
Greg. I know of
Rocky
Greg.
Mountain
He's
Reseller.
pretty cool.
Why you're not? I know you subscribed because you were in here before, but I've been watching your channel. Yeah, this Rocky Mountain Reseller.
Yeah, he watches my stuff. I like him.
Congratulations and welcome. I don't understand why he had a wrench before. That happens. Always make sure you subscribe, and if I see you come back in the chat without because I know you've been in here before. That's mainly what happens. A lot of times that it does take you off your subscription, and that's how I know when you come back and you don't have a wrench. Let's see, did I miss anyone? Got to run. Well, welcome and thank you, Lorena, for coming in. She's got to run. Today's her mama's birthday. Tell everybody I said hello. Let's see here. Go ahead and put your links in the chat for everyone who has contents on channel creation. Don't forget to put your links in the chat so everybody can come and check you out and support your channel. I know there's a lot of them out there. It's hard to kind of see. If y'all want to see a funny video to have a good time tonight, I see she just put it in there. Copper State Treasures is going to be on tonight. There's the link if you want to set your reminder. I guarantee you will laugh so hard that your cheeks will hurt the whole show.
Yeah.
I watched it last Saturday. I woke up early Sunday morning about 3:15, and I came in my room and I started watching it. But when Robert woke up, I went to tell Robert about it. I watched it again, and I guarantee you, it's never a dull moment in that channel.
That's a good video if you watch it twice. I've had a couple of those.
Yeah.
Yes. So make sure you go and check her out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get your notifications. She also started a new channel live today. It was yesterday, Friday, last night, in the afternoon. We watched it again today, though. Make sure you go check them out and subscribe to them. You will not be disappointed. It's a special show. Yep, it sure is. Let's see. I just saw something fly by here. Yes, they have a lot of different accents. You will laugh, I guarantee you. Unused tape recorders, the Red Sox, unused. I'm just trying to make sure I get to the crowd. All the items here are going to come on the show soon. Yes, thank you, Danica. I reached out to both of them, and I'd like to get them both at the same time so they can come on and talk about their channels because they're both really content and needed some watch hours, and their subs go up. So let's give them some support. Thank you, Jennifer, too. She did. So is there anything you would like to share with the chat that maybe they might not know about you that you would like to share with the chat? To have them come and watch your channel.
I like sharing my profits. I don't know if everyone does that. I share what I buy, what I sell, and how much I make because I want other people to see how much money is out there. Like our country's super wealthy and people make full-time income selling things. So, if you're like working a job, maybe you're in a place where, you're not going to re-educate. You're not striving. You're not a hard charging company man to try to get that promotion. And you're like, you know what? I just want to do an easy income. Like it doesn't take much. Honestly, once you figure the system out, it doesn't take much, thought or much effort, like physically. You don't have to be outside all the time and bust your back, Yeah. So yeah, you can come and you can see what I find. And I know it will be in your area for the most part. Like stuff's everywhere,
I also want to say that Cali Reseller, that's Lewis, he's only 3 away from 200 subs. So if you would show some love and support and check his channel out. He's also fairly new and still learning and doing the same thing we're all doing. Yeah, I know when I do my videos, I try to do it now once a week where it's what's sold and then what I'm finding and sourcing. And the reason I do that at the end is because I get a lot of compliments and comments about they like the idea of what I'm showing, what I sold versus what I bought it for, and then just break down the profits of, because a lot of people don't realize that it's not always a great week or a month when selling something. But I like to break it down to show them that it's not always the high dollar items. That once you bring out all your fees and all the things you charge for, and then what your actual profit is, still shows that you can make money, but you have to be wise at what you buy to be able to flip it for a better profit. And that's why I do that.
I do what sold videos, and I do packing and shipping videos,
That's good.
online sourcing videos. But I'm a little bit sensitive about saying, what did I get it for versus what I sold it, because I've been putting a thank you card in my eBay orders, trying to get some more subs through customers I gain on eBay. And I would hate for someone to see me say, well, I sold them something for X and I only paid YZ for it. I don't want anybody to feel like they got a raw deal. Business is business, buy low, sell high, but I don't know. I just don't want anybody to regret a purchase.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna
Could I add something on that, Mike?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure.
So I don't buy a whole lot from eBay, but I recently bought a Chicago Bears starter jacket, and it had the Bears emblem on the back, and it was the only one that had that, and it was like $88 or something. And if that guy picked it up for $5, like, I got that jacket, and I was willing to pay that much because I love that item. So if they love the item, they're happy with what they paid. But I see what you're saying too, though, about, I think it depends how you say it in the video. If you're like, yeah, I sold it for $100 and I only paid $1, maybe they would get mad about it. But if you're like, look, hopefully somebody can use this, I think they'll be okay.
Well, I know Matt and Lonnie, they both, they'll tell you right up, oh, I only paid, this for that, and I got this for that, and they've got viewers who are their buyers, and it doesn't seem to bother them. But I don't know. I put myself in a buyer's position, and I don't want to do that to anybody.
I'm going to back that up as well on add to the comments on that one. I find I'm starting to get a lot of feedback where they're asking me how do they start an eBay store, because even though I'm doing how much I bought it for, where I bought it, in other words, I'm showing the different ways when I'm doing my what sold videos, and then when I break it down, there are actually going to be some people that may be interested in doing that because they can see that you can buy low and sell high on some things, but then some things aren't that great when flipping them. The thing about it is you never know who you might touch when somebody's watching a video or watching your items that you sold and say, wow, maybe I can do that. And like for me, I always say in a lot of my videos, always start with things around your house, things you didn't touch for 6 months or a few months or a year, and it's still sealed. Try those out first. See if you can make those flip for yourself. Because if you start within your own home, then it's going to make you have that anxiety to be able to go more into other places to find things to flip. And you never know who you make touch with. Somebody who might say, oh, I can do this. And they might be in a hard time at the moment. And they can see that they can make some type of income on their own.
Now, Mike, do you tell people when you go like sourcing that you resell?
Right now, I'm not doing any sourcing at garage sales. I'm doing local online auctions. I have a connection with the guy that owns a comic book store. I've been good to him, and he's been good to me. And I still have a couple of wholesale sources from when I was in business.
That's nice, man.
But I'm thinking I need to go to some garage sales with a camera because that seems to draw in viewers. So
yeah, so what's good about doing that is when you're doing it and they're watching your video, and you get to see if they even, because a lot of times I catch myself talking to the TV like, "Take that," or "No, you pass that up," and it opens up your mind to watch for things that other people are selling that you might have missed.
Right.
Where you can turn around and start looking for that kind of stuff at another yard sale because they'll tell you in the comments, "Oh my God, I can't believe you passed that up." And it's like, well, I might not have saw it. When you start watching the video again, you will say, "Oh my God, I did miss it. Oh my God, I need to start looking for that kind of thing." And so that's what's good about doing that.
Yeah,
You
it's
have to be
like
comfortable
it's
doing
like game film, like in sports, they record the game and you go through it, and. But yeah, you mentioned, I think you watched one of my videos, Johnny, and you mentioned the puzzles. Like I
Yes.
know puzzles are selling, but like I don't know. And sometimes I was heading to the lake, so I didn't really have time to scan everything. My wife and my dog were getting kind of impatient, so. But yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of things you don't know. I don't know everything, and that's why everyone's channels is cool because some people narrow in like on jewelry or women's jeans, and you can really exploit that. And then when you go around, you'll see it. You'll eventually be like, oh yeah, I remember Johnny said puzzles. Like, let me check that out.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was at a garage sale, and this is probably the second time I've used the GoPro. And one woman during the negotiation part, she was like, "Oh, so I'm on the GoPro," and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll cut this out if you don't want it." She goes, "No, it's fine," but I don't know if it really. I think it made the negotiation a little weirder for sure. It wasn't just like normal. It just felt a little.
I find what helps
off.
me though is when they ask me and I tell them, "I'll give them a business card. Look me up if you got something you want to get rid of," because you never know who's going to turn around and start getting rid of stuff and call you first.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's
I think
thing.
her hair wasn't done or something, so she didn't want to be on YouTube forever. I was like,
her makeup was bad or something.
I was like, I'll just show what I picked up. I won't show like this encounter. I did talk her down too. So
Yeah,
I've seen.
I have a question here from Paul about my boots. My boots are doing well. I already have another shelf full of stuff to bring. I go through a lot of my inventory. If I find that I can do better at the antique shop and I don't want to deal with it on eBay or any of the platforms I sell on, I'll put it on inventory and put it in the antique booth, and it really sells really, really quick sometimes. And it's just like any platform you go on, the booth is where it's a hit and miss sometimes. But the best thing is, it's if you want to get into other things to do, antique booths are wonderful for bigger items that you don't want to. You think you can buy it and you can flip it, but you don't have a place to put it. Those are great to start looking into sometimes.
do you find yourself putting more decorative items in antique booths?
No, I actually do a lot of older things. I do some decorative items, especially glassware, because then for example, I had this large ginger door. It had the prints on both front and back of a Japanese, like a picnic kind of thing on it, and I had the little pedestal for it, and I wound up selling it for $160. But it was big enough to where I didn't have to worry about shipping it. I didn't have to worry about it getting damaged. They picked it up right at their hands and brought it out with them immediately. And that's what I like about some of the bigger things. But that's just a chance you have to take sometimes, just like anything.
I try to think like if my wife said an antique store, like that's kind of what she's looking for. But I never really thought what I would. I mean, makes sense, old thing, antiques, obviously. But
well, each antique area or any store or any booth or however you want to call it, a mall, they have their guidelines. Like I know my sister-in-laws have an antique booth in Chicago or in Illinois, and they have to be a certain year or older or get it approved before they put it in their booth.
Interesting.
Each place is different depending on where you're located.
I'm
more than welcome to talk about anything while I'm scrolling the chat.
Okay. Now, I was going to say, we have some antique booths here, and I try to go there for sourcing, but, those people know no prices. So I realized that wasn't going to happen. But I've been curious because some people seem to either they're overstock or just they're, like you said, bigger items that an antique booth may be something to get those items moved. I'm not really sure. I haven't really, delved into that kind of world.
Right.
But.
Yeah. Well, again, each place you go to is different. So I have 2 antique booths, and the only thing they stipulate is that I don't put appliances unless I get it approved or it's older type, or clothing, because there's too many booths already having clothing. So you definitely have a list of things you can and can't do, which is nothing surprisingly, but as long as you stay within those guidelines, you're fine.
Got you. I see Taco Stacks is in the chat. It's crazy.
Oh, hey, Taco. I like your channel, man.
Who was that? Oh, yeah, Taco Stack.
I'm just saying, Taco, that I like his channel.
Yeah, we just watched another video earlier on him.
I may check him out just because of the name, man. Taco Stack.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Rebel, how are you doing? I haven't seen you.
There you go, Jen. On the ball.
Yeah. She's good at that, too. She's quick. Another one I'm trying to get on the chat in our live is Gary and Tom Cruise is my name. They do a lot of good auctions as well. Let's see. Here we go. The chat they have going on in the chat. I'm just trying to make sure I get everybody here. Dave says you don't think people will get mad about it. They just know that you're making money, and that's true. You might have somebody you might tick off every now and then, but that's very few and far between. And the best thing about it is you have to make sure you just go out there and have fun. And if somebody doesn't want to be on your video and they see you're videoing it, they'll let you know. Trust me.
I'm getting ready to get these sunglasses that have a camera built in. So
I've heard about those.
Yeah.
Gary. Let's see. Tesla Dave says, when I started telling people what I do, it opened up a major opportunity. And that's true. It does.
So do you guys, like you were saying on your thank you cards, you put your YouTube channel? Does everyone do that?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'll do.
Oh, my
On
God.
my card.
It's so like, it's like obvious, right? Like, but I'm going to just, I have these like cheap thank you cards. This is just Astro Bright paper.
Mhm.
And I'm going to start writing my YouTube channel. I'll put it up here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Do you make those yourself or you have somebody else do it for you?
I make them. I have a commercial copier here. It's like 12 years old, but it's a business copier, and I do all my labels there, but it takes up too much square footage in this room. So I'm going to get a Rolo for Christmas, hopefully, from Santa. But I print these Astro Brights out, and I'm going to start writing. Sometimes I write notes like, enjoy your product, or, you know, hope this fits, whatever. But I'm going to start putting my YouTube channel, and then eventually I want to do a business card. I'm not very, like, artistically creative, so I can't really think of a design, but maybe I'll, like, I think some people mentioned Fiverr. I don't know if there's a video I watched recently, but maybe I'll go there. I think it was Art Vandal I was talking about Fiverr, and I want to go there and have some kind of design, you know.
I don't know if you noticed my logo. Let me show this real quick.
Maybe.
See the little logo up there?
Oh, yeah, from the yeah.
That was done through Fiverr.
That was through Fiverr? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, like $10, $15?
Actually, the one I did, because I had more coloring in it, in the design, they created it from the scratch, so I told them what I wanted, that was $60.
So it's like a tattoo, I guess, almost.
Yeah. Once you got it, it's yours. It's your right. You have it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's yours. And anytime you go back and want to do other things, like if you want to do an intro for your video, you can let them know what you're looking for, and they will basically create your intro for you or your outro.
Wow. That's interesting, man.
Another place you can go is Vistaprint.
Yeah.
Vistaprint.com. You can print up 100 cards real cheap. And they
I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about like clean lines and like I'm not just into the whole creative stuff, you know. I don't know what it is. I'd rather have like bar, like just, you know, and it's some people aren't into that, you know.
Right.
But I'll have to check some of those places out for sure. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I got my 1,000 to print gift cards. I want to say I paid $25 for the 1,000, and I'm already on my second box of $250. I use them for every order that goes out. The only thing I give my stickers for is like when I'm doing my I do bingo every Tuesday with Larry on one week, with Adventures in Reselling Victoria on the next week, which will be this week coming up, is on Victoria's channel. And then on my channel, I do it. And anytime that they win the prizes that you win on playing bingo, I'll send them an actual special sticker I bought, got made.
Sweet.
Those are pretty good for that kind of thing. And for every now and then I get a viewer that buys something out of my eBay store, and I'll send them those as well.
Wow. How many sales do you do a month? Do you mind sharing? I'm curious.
It's depending. I've been selling on an average of about 49 to 65 pieces, varies month to month.
Wow.
And that's why I've been just doing a monthly video, because I try to take the best and the worst of my month.
Yeah.
For everything else I'm doing. But I still try to at least have that one video a week come out for that. And that's basically what I'm doing. Now, what surprised me this week is they just turned my account over to the managed payment system. And so I didn't know if it had anything to do with it, because my sales were kind of low this week. But day before yesterday, I woke up to 14 sales in one morning.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was excited.
That's wild.
So you just never know what and when it's going to happen.
They just, last month I had to sign up for managed payments, but they haven't put me over on it yet. But I'm going to lose a number of my listings when that happens, because some of the stuff I sell isn't covered. And I'm not real happy about that.
Yeah.
Can do any of you guys? Could you explain? Like, I hate this because it's like very unprofessional, but I've been selling, and for my fees, I just do 0.87 for the eBay fee. It multiplies by the gross sales, and then it's zero point 0.3 for the PayPal fee, or maybe 0.35, and then there's no listing fee because I have the store now. But that's what populates in my spreadsheet. And now that managed payment happened, I haven't figured out how much I'm exactly making. Like, I don't know. What do you guys suggest?
I'm gonna give you a big thing that I did. About a couple of months ago, I did 14 series how-to on eBay.
14?
14 of how-to on videos about eBay. One of those videos is about how to find your fees. On every item I sell, I do a printout sheet for each item. Paperwork. And what I do is when you go to print out your forms or you go to each thing you sold, you can actually break it down and find out exactly what were the fees on each item. And I did that exact video where I broke it down and showed you where to find your PayPal fees.
Mm-hmm.
And I can find you and show you where you can find the eBay fees. If you do ad for promoted listings, how to find those fees. And also if your insertion fees, if you had those, which I don't have anymore because I'm doing free shipping. So I don't have any fees on the shipping part. But I did do a whole video on all of that. It's all in the descriptions on every one of my videos. So feel free to look at that. And that kind of helps you show you where to and how to find those fees.
And okay.
Sometimes some channels I notice do a percentage.
Right.
When I do my work for my spreadsheet, I know exactly how much I was charged. I know exactly how much what fee went to where. And when I do a promoted listing, I already know how much, maybe 53 cents, 63 cents, whatever the senses are. I have that on my spreadsheet to show exactly what that was as well on my feed.
Yeah. And you know, I figured it on one transaction, right? Like I did the PayPal thing, but I just haven't done it since managed payments have changed, you know, but maybe it's the same. I don't know.
On the managed payment, you can do daily, which if you do daily, it'll break it down for you no matter which way you do it. But on each of your sales, those fees automatically come out now the way you don't have to worry about paying that bill at the end of the month. Or
okay. I see. So that's the only thing that, okay. I didn't know if the percentage changed.
And I did a video on that as well. What's going to happen is as you get a sale, it goes through the next day. And if it's on the Friday, it goes on to Monday where you get your actual money into your account. And what they do is they will pull the fees out. And then they also have some new things that you can start using that they're offering for free. And I think that one of those things is also some kind of spreadsheet that you can get where it pulls it out for you on a spreadsheet.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you got a lot going on, and that's kind of like, I know I'm making money. It's just, I want to be exact though.
Right. And that's how I am. I'm very picky on knowing exactly where it is going. So I get an idea of what my fees are and what on an average.
See, and I've even heard some people when they get so big, they don't even itemize like what they buy and what they sell. They just do, okay, I spent this much money this month and then I sold this much, and then, you know, kind of do it like that. And that's, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can get to the point where, yeah, you know, every sale you're pretty much making money. Like you're not selling for a loss, which I would not suggest that to anybody. But I sell for a low amount sometimes. But like I said, I don't have a lot of space, and I get impatient, you know. And I almost want the feedback more than like, and I want people to have the item, you know. Like, come on, man. If I'm not going to use it, I don't even care about some of the items. But I know other people looking it up, they do. So,
what do you have as far as your handling time on your eBay store?
1 day.
Yeah, that's what I have to do.
Yeah. I haven't got to the point where, like, I think one morning I had to pack like 10 items, you know, so I had to wake up a little earlier. But now I'm waking up at 5 to try to work out. And I guess if I had a lot of sales, you know, one day, I'll just kind of shorten the workout or skip it and just pack everything up. But so.
And what I like about it too, even on the weekends, if it's after a certain time on Friday, it says you have to have it done by Monday.
Right.
I'm still packing it that day. Because I want to make sure. Oh yeah, only day I don't pack, depending on how many I have, is on Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm automatically on it.
Yeah, I think the post office closes, I think 2:30 here on Saturday. So like I typically try to get items out, but usually Saturday morning I'm hitting garage sales. So I really don't. I wait till like after lunch and then I'll go up there.
Well, for me, Saturdays they close here at 11:30, but they don't open till 9:30.
Oh.
So we have 2 post offices in the area of our town. One closes at 11:30, one closes at 12:30. So if I miss the first one, I can go always down the street to the second one. But those Saturdays they don't open till 9:30 or 9 o'clock, something like that. So I try to make sure I go by 10:30 because when I know they're closing at 11. So any sales I get, even by Saturday morning, I'm usually packed and ready to go because I only live 2 minutes away from the post office where I'm getting out that day. Anything after that 11:30, it's going out Monday. That's again, everybody has their different ways of doing things, but that's how I do it because I'd rather have it out faster and get the feedback that says they got it faster than what they expected. That makes it look good on you too.
If the post office cooperates.
Exactly.
Because they haven't been doing a great job lately.
Well, one thing I've learned, I don't know about everybody else, might say this is different for them, but I do not and I will not send medium mail any longer because I've had a package missing in March, and then I had another problem with another package. Thank God they got it. But because of the fact that media mail is the last thing that any warehouse that goes through your town that the mail goes to, media mail is the last thing that gets shipped out. And so I just send first class. It's the same price.
Well,
I don't know if Joey bought a Bing still in the chat, but if he is, can you fix that, man? Like, can you make that change?
Yeah,
like
really, Joey. Where you at?
You know,
We started talking about mail.
I don't know if he's still in, but if he is, he definitely needs to
sure.
fix
I didn't
that.
see him lately.
Did y'all see the shipping change for USPS? I'm sure people have been talking about it. I just kind of figured it this morning. It was like 2 to 5 days instead of 1 to 3 for priority. That's got to be because of all that chaos. And I actually talked to the post office guy today. He said I think 60 USPS workers have died from the virus. So he said there.
I didn't hear that. Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's nationwide, I'm assuming. But he said that's part of the reason. And then they're on a hiring freeze or something like that because of the money and the whole funding stuff. So that's why they changed that from 2 to 5 days instead of 1 to 3 for priority. And I think people were debating on using other shipping vehicles. I've been using Pirate Ship for some of that stuff, man. That's working out good too.
Well, yeah, because Pirate Ship for some reason you get a better. Sometimes you get a better deal on Pirate Ship depending on where it's going.
Yeah, with cubic shipping.
I've been using FedEx for a lot of stuff, and if it's over 3 pounds, it's competitive.
Yeah.
And plus, I just take it into Office Depot. There's no line.
Well, you also can go to any Walgreens too.
Well, that's where I drop off. Yeah,
that's what I do too. Also,
yeah, they love me up there, man. I love the guys at Walgreens. They're just like, hey, you got something else? Like, business must be good. And I'm just like, it sure is, man. Please scan this and leave me alone.
Yeah, let me go.
Get a receipt.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, that's a pro tip. I don't know if anybody's new to reselling, but if you guys are going to the same Goodwills, the same thrift stores, be nice to those people. Like, get to know them a little bit. I mean, you don't have to get their number and hang out with them, but you want to say hello every day. You want to say hey, Bethany, you look nice today. Whatever, man. I mean, there's a lot of times they just say, all right, just 99 cents. I mean, and it's, you can look at it however you want, but if you can make them smile or whatever, you're going to get good deals. And sometimes they'll be like, hey, I'm going to put out a bunch of shoes because you're here. I know you like shoes. And you got to have whatever competitive advantage you can get. If you're an expert in one category, you have an advantage, focusing on that category. But if you're not an expert and you're trying to figure it out, at least be nice to those people. I
also want to welcome Out of Countries in the chat. And I'm Brad's here. Welcome. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get you yet.
By the way, Sean, that works in casinos too. If you go to the cage at night and tip the cashier and ask her which machine's fixing to hit, she'll tell you.
That's a pro tip right there. I stay away from casinos, man. That's blackjack and poker. Oh man.
Now Brittany Brands had a good comment. She says, you can also play around with it's called Canva. And you can also, it's really easy to make a simple logo. Canva's a thing that you can also do thumbnails.
Okay.
It's a program that you can use. Yeah.
A pro tip, someone was telling me about thumbnails. It was actually Amy Bale. She does vlogs, like her daily life stuff. She said she screenshots like the freebies. And then she eventually got an account with one of them, but she would just make it, screenshot it, crop it, and use it. And I was now that is pretty wild.
Yeah, it is. I would have never thought of that.
Me neither. I was
Reseller on the road. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, go ahead and check him out because he will be one of our guests coming up this next week coming up. And so he was a guest, I want to say, on Victoria's channel last week. So
I missed that.
he's also another channel to watch for.
Yeah, man.
He has a lot of travel.
He is killing the game. Like he said,
Yeah.
he's been doing it for a long time, and he'll buy like $50, $60 items from pawn shops and flip them for $300 to $400 on the regular. You know, so he
And I would have
knows
never
his
thought of
stuff.
buying something at pawn shops.
Well, that's the thing. Like they look up some items, but there's a lot that they don't know. I mean, like any other place, they can't look every item up. But
Exactly.
yeah, he's killing the game. It's really nice.
It is amazing.
I think I'll try that. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, I think he was telling me Easy Pawn was one of the better ones to hit up. And you just got to figure out their game for the most part, you know, like how they price items, when they discount them, you know. So like anything else, you got to just figure out. But yeah, he said Easy Pawn. So I haven't been to one yet, but I definitely want to check them out. I may do that after work one day because, you know, my weekends are pretty tied up. So anyway. Yeah, so you're having him on next weekend, you said?
He's gonna be on the show he's gonna be on the live this week, yeah. I wanna say, let me see my calendar real quick.
I'll have to check Victoria's channel, see what they talked about.
Now he's on the next Wednesday, this Wednesday coming, the 26th. On Victoria's channel, she does every Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. And it's more of whatever can be said will be said on her show. She starts off by talking with the chat in the first half. In the second half, she comes back with a guest that she's been doing now. And then Larry will come on right up behind that and do part 2 from her videos, where he'll do it live continuing after Victoria. So that's something you can check out every morning too. That's different. That's what she has every day.
And I got to clock in at 8, so it's like I always kind of pop in and I'm like, oh, what's up, guys? But I can't just sit around and I got to get back to the grind, man.
Yeah.
So one day I'll be able to hang out the whole time.
Yeah, just a matter of time.
It honestly would have been this year if my car held up. I was gonna start at the next year, January.
Right.
Because I'm young enough that if it doesn't work out, I can still kind of you know figure it out. I'm 28, so. But
let's see. Walton Sarah says, when I was a kid, my dad made me help him with the post on eBay. Now it's an adult and it's my life. Well, congratulations. Yeah, sometimes it's not for everybody, but once you get started, you're hooked.
Yeah.
And I like doing projects. Like I like mowing lawns. I'm gonna mow my neighbor's lawn probably either tonight or tomorrow, depending on the weather. And you know, she pays me $30. I do it every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the rain. And I do a lot of construction things, like, you know, so I could see myself, you know, just doing the sales, you know, and then if I feel like doing other things to make a little more cash. Right. Yeah, I think if I can hit 50K to 100K, that range, I think I'd live a pretty happy life, especially where I live. The cost of living so low. So.
Yeah, nothing like being self-employed.
I know, man. I mean, people are like, well, you'll have to answer to customers. I'm like, usually they like the stuff I give them. And, you know, I get like maybe a couple returns a month, but it's usually because it doesn't fit or, you know.
Well, I have to say my first full year as an eBay reseller, I only had 2 returns. Whoa. And it was either the customer, one was the customer misread the package and thought it was something else, returned it with no problem. It was still as it was shipped to them. And then another item was because the item got to them broken, knowing that I knew it was not broken at the beginning.
There's my dog. He's wanting to go out, so you want to see him? I'm going to take him out real quick, and I'll be right back, all right?
All right. All right, so don't forget, everyone that's in the chat, go ahead and subscribe to each other by putting the links in the chat. Share the links so that people can come and check you out and check your channel out and subscribe to you. Larry, you have anything to say to these guests or anyone in the chat, or any comments or questions?
No, I'm fine. I'm enjoying listening. I'm learning more stuff.
Every day is a good day to learn something.
That's right.
All right. Now, Walton Sauer says, anyone ever ship overseas and had a bad experience? I lost so much money shipping a toy to Canada. I personally haven't because I use. They usually go through global shipping, and usually once it hits, usually goes into Kentucky. Usually once it hits there, it's guaranteed wherever it goes. But I'm knock on wood, I've not had it returned and or any damaged items. But then again, when you do that, you have to package. And I have had some packages directly where they didn't go through power chip. Why, I don't know. But that was, I guess, at the beginning when I first started. I was a little nervous with doing that. But I actually have to say it's been a really good experience for me. Now, what about you, Larry? And like,
Um, I've been see with pirate ship. I have had no problems. I haven't even really shipped anything overseas in quite a long time, except for Fluffy. I mean, I got some Fluffy's package out yet.
now I've sent to three different locations in the last couple of months,
Okay.
and they've gotten it within 2 to 3 weeks, which was pretty fast.
Wow.
I was surprised.
Quick.
So yeah, that was shipping through power chip.
I don't ship overseas.
So you don't do any international shipping or sales?
Do any? I'm afraid to.
Yeah.
It's not our post office. It's everybody else's that I worry about. Who's going to go through the package? Customs, all kinds of stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Oh yeah, you got a new one in the chat. You got Bang Time Pool. He needs a wrench.
Who?
What's up, guys?
Bang Time Pool. He's a new person.
Well, hello. Welcome to
What I miss? What's up?
Bang Time Pool.
What's that?
I'm trying to figure out who that is.
That's a crazy name. Let's see.
Does
How'd y'all
anyone
come
know
up with y'all's names? That's a great question, man. I got a pretty good story on mine.
Right now?
How'd y'all come up with the names for your channels?
For me, I did mine because when I was living in Louisiana, normally everyone who's in the South is called Cajun with a C.
Mhm.
And what I did was I changed it because a lot of times you can also see, I'm already subscribed to you. Okay. I basically kept it with the Cajun theme. And Robert actually helped me come up with the name because I was trying to put something that had to do with Cajun, because I am a Cajun from Louisiana in the South, and they call the Bayou area.
Yeah.
And so what I did was basically went to look for any channels that might have had the word Cajun. And then there was one already with the C. That's when I went with the K. So that's how I came up with mine, keeping it with the roots.
Yeah.
And then I also have a Cajun Roots cooking show, also spelled with a K.
A cooking show.
Yeah, I do that separate.
Whoa.
In fact, I got to upload some videos on that one.
You
Yeah.
got another new person in here too. A pink.
Actually, yeah, I saw that. I think I'm already
Pick with
subscribed
Joy.
to Pick with Joy. Welcome, and also Bang Time Pool. I already subscribed to him, but I think it's the first time I see him in the chat. So welcome both of y'all to the chat and to the live. I want to thank y'all for coming out.
Dang time. I like that.
Pick with Joy.
I noticed Matt, the part-time picker, he wears a hat that says Build-A-Bong. I mean to ask him about what that hat means. I
think I have a few ideas.
Now, who's that question for?
They're just making a comment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. It flies so fast.
Yeah.
All right, Pick with Joy. It looks like a very nice web channel you got there for your YouTube channel. What is your real name, if you don't mind telling us? Thank you for being here, too.
Could be Joy.
Yeah? Surf skate clothing. Oh, cool.
Hey, Michael, what's the Dr. Hair license plate? What's that all about?
Well, all my life I was a hairdresser, and the name of my salon was Dr. Hair.
Interesting. Cool, man.
2017, I had kidney failure and
shit.
went on to dialysis, and I had to hang it up because I just don't have the stamina anymore to be on my feet all day. Everybody knows me by Dr. Hair.
Also want to welcome to the chat, Blank Faces, Mara, welcome. And if I miss someone, if you did not hear me call your name and say welcome, please let me know, because the chat is flying through and it's sometimes hard to keep up with the chat. Everyone in the chat, if you have not checked out Nikki T's channel with her husband, Rev the Resell, check out Rev Resell's channel. They both do it together. That's a married couple, and they are wonderful. I need to go check them out.
I think the couple game is like the most tremendous thing in reselling, especially if it's YouTube too. I mean, that's a great thing. I mean, some people are like, I wouldn't want to work with my wife, but I think that'd be pretty cool,
I don't know if y'all have ever checked out Redneck Resell. That's Colton and Courtney. They also are a married couple up in Alabama, and they do channel together. Their channel together as well.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
My wife's actually a pretty good picker. She gets stuff at Goodwill, and it usually sells within a week.
Right.
Right now,
I
we're
want to welcome the Lone Star Picker in the chat. Welcome. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I say right now we're taking care of her mother, but at some point in time, she's going to join me and we'll work together on her picks and my picks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife, she acts like it's not even hard. I mean, she finds like this stuff, and I don't know if she gets a sweeter deal at garage sales because she's a woman, but she's just like, oh yeah, gave it to me for $1, and it was a lot of like Disney Infinity. There's like 40 of them in there, plus the little stand thing, and one of them sold for like $40. And I was like, like a lot of them, and I was like, golly, man, it's wild. So
have she ever thought about maybe joining you and doing this together?
No, absolutely no. She doesn't want any part. I tried to show her like how it works, and she's like, nope, don't even care, don't want to know. She's a health inspector for our city.
Oh,
So,
okay.
she goes to restaurants and she drops the hammer on people when they're not following the rules. So,
I bet she's busy right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nerve wracking because if she gets like a cough or slight sickness, like she pretty much can't work. They're like, no, go get tested, stay out a couple weeks. So hopefully that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened yet, but
Every once in a while, I do some Uber Eats, and I'll tell you, I know where to go and where not to go by what I see.
It's so funny. My dad, he was talking because whenever we got together, and he was asking her about what restaurant. She's like, well, I'm not supposed to say, and he goes, well, I go to this one Chinese place, and every time I leave, like I think it's the MSGs, and she goes, it's not the MSGs, man. Like, that's not what you're feeling.
For everybody enjoys, his name is Martha. I want to welcome her, and then maybe if you can reach out to me, I'm always looking for guests to come out and promote your channel. All my descriptions and information that you can reach me is always in all my videos in the description bar. Make sure you reach out to me, and I'll be glad and happy and honored to have you on the chat as a guest. Philly Road Tech, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. And also make sure you still subscribe because I'm noticing a few of y'all coming back to the chat and you're in gray. And I know I've given you a wrench before, and that's how I know if you've been in the chat for a while or not. And if you lose a chat, the subscription, go ahead and make sure you subscribe so you can get the reminders when a new video comes out and or when we go live.
Can you highlight Brittany Brands' comment? She said she gets her hubby to model the men's clothes.
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
And in the chat, she's here. Welcome. I'm trying to get to her and find it.
I'm looking at the one on the StreamYard. It comes up first, I think.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's way at the bottom. That's why. I was still at the top up there. See, ready to go. I know I just saw it.
Hey, Brittany, does your husband like grab some of your inventory? Because if I come home with shoes that fit my wife, she almost always wants to try them on for sure. But now she has tons of shoes, so.
Brittany's always working and listing, and it's amazing on the stuff that she finds.
Yeah. See, I like Tesla Picker because it seems like he's always grinding, It's like he doesn't sleep. Like he's just like work, listing, like buying stuff. It's crazy.
Bravo says her husband thinks it's great at what she's doing, but he is not having any interest in reselling with her. And that happens sometimes, but it's amazing what you can find together when you both go together.
I know, because she goes straight to the things that I don't go to, right? And then it's like I think she picked up a Nordic ware pan as a shortbread cookie pan. And I would have never looked at it. And she picked it up for like $2 and it sold for $35 the same day. So I probably listed it too low. And Yeah, it's tremendous, so
Yeah.
pretty cool. She's like, this
What
has
makes
a
you
lot of
think
weight.
too,
Like
and it sells that fast? Did I list it too low?
Now, I mentioned this on, I don't know if it was the live last night or a video ago. I think if it sells within like the hour, or maybe, usually it's about 10 minutes, you listed it too low. But if it sells like the next morning or the 2 days later, I think I listed it just right, because people are constantly looking for what they want. And that's what I like. I don't know, how true that is, but I noticed some items that are priced higher that take longer. If they sell for full price, I'm like, okay, that's one of those where you're waiting for the right buyer that's going to pay whatever for it. Like me in that jacket, I was going to pay whatever for that jacket.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm about flipping my inventory every 2 to 3 months. I want everything gone, And if it's not gone, like I'm going to have garage sales twice a year.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do one in the fall, and I'm going to video it, and hopefully I can, at least make, half my money or all of it back.
Exactly. Nikki T says she tries getting Rev to model the vintage men's underwear. He says no.
Hey, he's not a sport. Come on.
Nikki, don't forget to put your channel link in the chat for everybody to go and make sure to subscribe to you. And if y'all need some gum, they got a big lot of gum that they're selling. So check out their channel in their eBay store. You're looking for some juicy fruit gum. If you haven't seen that video yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't model any men's underwear, because when I die, I'm donating my body to science fiction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I heard of something weird people do when they die, that if you have like 20 grand, you can have a tree grow out of your like ashes plus soil. Like they grow a giant tree out of it. And that's like supposed to be you, living through the tree. I thought that was they put you in like a pod. It's a weird, like very expensive, like, kind of California thing, but
I could do that.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
For 10 or 15 bucks.
Throw it in the garden, like just like sprinkle ashes around.
Yeah.
Some miracle grow. Miracle grow.
There you go.
Never heard that one before.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we did with our mom. We dug a hole and we bought a tree and we put some of her ashes in the hole. We put the tree there, and there you go. That's her mom.
I've already got a couple of cats planted in my backyard.
Oh man.
Cemetery, huh?
What? Yeah. What about the spouse that like drinks a little bit of them in their coffee every day?
Not for me.
Anybody?
No
Anybody? That's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a link he put in the chat. He says this guy actually models his own stuff for eBay, and it's pretty funny.
Hang on a second. I think Tesla mentioned it first, but I see that Simply Dana said it too. They said people have alerts for the items that they want. So
yeah,
if maybe that's what it is. I didn't know you could do that. I don't buy enough from it, but that's pretty cool.
Because I get a list every now and then. Like somebody's got all these lists of items that people have in their basket. Go ahead.
I try to list at a point where I can, once a day go through the watchers and send them a fairly generous offer. And I think 10 to 20% of those people end up buying. So
speaking of the redneck reseller, he's in the chat. So if y'all haven't subscribed to him, go check out his channel. That's another married couple. They do eBay. They go to garage sales, and they do a lot of content on their videos. So go check them out. Colton or Courtney, if whichever one's watching it, put that link in the chat. And Rev Resale, that's his link right there in the chat. If y'all catch it and subscribe to both Nikki T and Rev Resale, that's Mr. Dave. He's also a full-time pastor. And if you want to watch him on Facebook, he does a Facebook live every Sunday on church service. Yeah, so I got some gum already, and it came back out ready from Rev Resell and Nikki T. Pair of Skechers shaped of sandals, super fast. The person must have a. Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed too. You can put things in your like to watch, and when somebody posts something with that item, that's how they automatically get the alert first.
Oh. I like the Skechers shape-ups for sure. I've sold quite a few of them, but sometimes if they're old, that little like foam will like deteriorate. So you kind of got to be careful with that. And if you try to hit it with water or anything while you're cleaning it, it'll like tear it up and it ruins them. So definitely be careful cleaning those.
Hi, Gary.
Have a good day, Gary. That's another one you need to subscribe to. He does if y'all want to do online auctions for buying good stuff, him and Tom Cruise's is my name. They do it every weekend. I want to say it's Monday nights.
They're
I
watching stuff on YouTube.
Yes.
How does that work?
Usually, when you go to a channel that does auctions, like last night was Adventures in Reselling, Victoria and Queen Cleopatra. They do theirs every Friday night at 6 o'clock. There's Westside Gary. Put your link in for the chat, please, for your auctions, if you don't mind, Gary, before you leave. If you go to the chat, usually you have to register, send them an email with your full name, your mailing address, your email address, YouTube channel, your real name, that kind of stuff. Once you register and you bid in the chat, basically the bids happen and you have to be in live chat, not top chat. And when you start bidding, you can actually start bidding on the things that they're auctioning off at that time. But once they say sold and they see it on their live chat on their side, that's what it's sold to. So you can find some good deals because a lot of times, even in Ghana, they do a thing where they've been doing a lot of wholesale lots, like the goose, and you can find items that have multiple pieces in a lot. And you can try and buy those at a retail price, so to say, depending on how much the bidding goes for in the chat. Just make sure you're actually doing your research. Sometimes you do have time to do that. For some of the things like behind records, albums, toys, action figures, jewelry lots, you name it, clothing. But usually most of the chats you have to register for their channel when they're doing live auctions. And sometimes some chats, like January House, that's Mike, he does it where you just basically automatically send him, instead of they send you an invoice, have you just basically send money to either eBay, to PAL. Some use the Cash App, some use Vera. I forgot the Ziller, whatever. There's different apps that you use, and basically whatever their requirements are for their auction is basically what you have to follow. You can find some good deals.
Has that happened to you guys where you're like, say you're making a local deal with somebody and they're like, instead of saying, do you have PayPal? They're like, do you have is it Zeely or like all these different pay apps? I'm like, dude, I've never heard of that. Like cash, like do you have cash, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cash App is a different app that you can get paid cash immediately. Again, you always have to link your accounts to them.
I mean like physical dollars, you know?
Venmo, I think, is another one.
Venmo, that's the one. I don't have Venmo yet. I feel like a lot of people are going from PayPal to Venmo, but I don't know, man. It's just like the platforms, you know. There's all these different reselling platforms, and
now, believe it or not, I've used Venmo because our guy who used to cut our grass in New Orleans, that's how he would get paid because he was a police officer, but he cut grass on the side. And so for him to get paid, he just basically took the payments like that without having to write a check or anything like that.
I'm kind of fond of PayPal. They've been good to me.
I have not had any problems.
Y'all know who created PayPal?
eBay.
That's his name.
It was Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's where he got all his capital, do all his other stuff with the cars and the rockets. That dude's crazy smart. I don't know if y'all watch Joe Rogan's like YouTube. I think he went to the other platform. I don't know what it was, but his interviews with some of those people, it's tremendous. I mean, it's almost like reading a whole bibliography in an hour, or hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
Pretty awesome.
PayPal's been emailing me asking me to open a PayPal store, and I haven't looked at that yet.
PayPal
or the
store?
credit card.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, they're starting their own store because they're going to be separate from eBay once this managed payments comes online.
Oh, you're talking about their own like reselling platform.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Never heard of that.
They're saying first 3 months free, but I don't want to have 2 store payments every month.
Right.
No, I didn't want to have one for a long time period, but it just made sense,
Yeah.
That's interesting you say that because they want me to do the credit card, and I hear some people, they use the PayPal credit card, and they have like, I have a separate checking account and a separate credit card, but it's through my bank. But they always have that thing. It says like at first when you log into PayPal, it says like something about credit card, and then you have to press proceed to account. And I'm just
Right.
like, dude, I haven't clicked it the last 6 months. Why do you think I'm going to change my mind now?
What's good about that, I do have it, is because the amount that you have in your account is like a debit checking account, that card. So what happens is when you go to use that card, even though it says MasterCard on it, it's linked to your balance on PayPal.
Right.
And so when you go to shop, you can actually use, it's almost like that's your limit when you go shopping. Because when you use that card, it automatically comes out your cash balance, available balance on your PayPal account.
So you don't have to wait for the transaction to transpire.
It's just like a debit card. It's like your debit card for the amount you have in your PayPal account.
Yeah, I don't know,
And that
man.
way you can keep that expense with what you have directly coming through PayPal. Same thing with eBay.
I hear you.
Theirs is like a credit limit kind of thing, whereas that one through PayPal is not.
If I have to remember another username and password, like I'm gonna flip out.
It's all part of your PayPal account.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's not too bad, but
That's how I started out.
yeah.
And it was easy for me to use it to do things because it came right out that balance.
Yeah. Do you source a lot online?
I started to recently because we don't have a lot of garage sales here.
Right.
Every now and then we might get a good deal where we could find an estate sale, but that's very few and far between.
I see.
So I have been doing some sourcing with online auctions. This way here, you can really find some good deals on those auctions.
Yeah, I think people are catching on to that because the good deals aren't as good as they used to be, at least in my area.
Yeah. I think so.
If you're having trouble remembering passwords, you can get an app called LastPass.
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I have one called it's a vault.
That's all you have to do is remember that just log into that, and that remembers everything.
Yeah, I have it's called the vault or whatever. It's same thing. It's one password. You get into it and you can see everything. But it's just like, I mean, especially with work, man. I have like 25 at work, and then I have 100 at home. It seems like, and God forbid we have like the router goes out. It's like, geez, what was
I've had
that?
it for about 10, 15 years, and I mean, I log into it every morning. I log out of it every night.
Website, Gary put his link in the chat for his auction channel. So if y'all want to check that out and sub to it, there it is.
Yeah.
They do a really good shows on their auctions, and you can find a lot of good stuff. Now, Robert did say here also it's called the Password Manager.
Yeah.
After this is over, I'm going to go through the chat and try to sub everybody that I see in here. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I like to
appreciate it.
rewatch them, man. I like to be like, all right, did I mess up? Did I say
Well,
something?
also you can also wait up to 24 hours. The whole chat will pop up when it uploads. You're going
Right.
to see the chat with the video if you wait up to 24 hours. That's about how long it might take to come up and go live with the chat. Yeah, you can go back and check it out. It's pretty cool. I'll go back and see if I missed anything.
Yeah. So what do you guys edit your videos on? Like, do you guys use Windows?
I
You
use
do all
Filmora 9.
Hang on.
Actually, it's in the descriptions of my videos.
Oh, okay.
There's a link you can go to, and it gets you to there.
Yeah, because now that I have the GoPro, it's so much faster to just put into the laptop to upload the videos. But then the one Windows provides, I think it's just I'm not used to it, but it's not. It's a lot harder than iMovie for sure. Like iMovie
I
is
can
so
tell you right now, when I
basic.
first started, that's how I did my videos, through what came with the computer.
Okay.
And it was a lot to learn because there was so many different ways you can do it. But then if you don't do it right, you lose your whole thing. You got to start all over.
It's a little
Whereas
janky.
with Filmora, what I like about it, when you start and you download your videos, it does an automatic save to your hard drive in a file. That way, if you want to go back to it, you can pull it back in wherever you ended at. Because whenever I'm doing a video and I'm editing, I can save it. And when I go back to it, and I close my computer down, I'll come back to it. It's exactly where I left off when I pull up that file again.
So I don't edit. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
using
Yeah.
Corel Video Studio.
I see. Huh.
But I like that one he just mentioned. Just load it in. But what happens is if you don't edit out some of the blank time, people get mad. They sit there and watch, and there's too much dead air, and they don't like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Johnny. Like I try to put I source Monday and Thursday after work for about half an hour, and then Saturday I do like 3 hours or 4 hours of sourcing. So I try to put all that in one, and then I try to do a sales video for the week. But I'd like to put some other things that might, because what you forget when you start the reselling is like, what were the questions I had when I first started? Because I had a ton, and I forget what, what was I asking was, oh yeah, I didn't know how to box this, or I didn't know the shipping, like, so I'm trying to figure out those types of questions for people who are brand new, because I talk to a lot of people in person about my channel, and I try to say, like, look, if you got a lot of stuff, or maybe you're in a job you don't like I can't buy all the items in this town. So like I try to explain, look, there's a way you can make a few hundred or a few thousand a month, like if you really put your mind to it. So that's kind of what I want to incorporate into my channel,
Right.
But
That's what I do too. Every now and then you'll find that I do how am I packing certain things, because that way they give somebody an idea, especially if they're starting out and fairly new. Because I say in all my videos, if you have any questions, put them in the chat and I'll be glad to answer them. But I very seldomly get questions. So I try to put those type of things that I see that people might be having questions on, like when I'm in other chats and I see questions, I'll implement them into my videos as I go.
Yeah.
That's how I became with the 14 the how to videos series, by questions I would put in the chat. And that's how I went up with those.
One of the best things I came across to help me with my packing is Lonnie at Shed Flips has a resizing knife, and that thing's been a real saver.
I think I got one right here, man.
Yeah.
And the
Anybody doesn't know, looks like this.
That's what I use. Let me take this
Oh
off.
no, his is
Yeah,
a
that's
little,
what I use. Yeah, his is a small handle one, but this one works really great when you have it in a deep box. Yeah.
So yeah, you just set it, and you just drop it down, and then you score it, and then you get a regular blade or whatever. You cut the corners and fold it down. So that'll save you a lot of time. But one thing, if you're packing something big, try to have a bigger box than that item, because it's worse when you have to combine two small boxes to make one big box. That's a lot of tape, and that costs money. So
yeah.
Very few and far between that I do a Frankenbox.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's kind of whatever you have at the time. I love the videos where people are going in these dumpsters and finding like 100 boxes. I'm just like, man, dude, like that's tremendous. I don't know. I mean, I will do pretty much anything, but I just don't know if I can just, like look around, especially with the mask on and you're like digging in like the boxes and you're the trash can for the boxes. I just don't know, man.
Yeah. Lone Star Picker had the question about wait on. He didn't know that you can put the setting into for your bank for the card. Basically, when you get approved for the card, it's because you already have a PayPal account, and it is directly linked to your PayPal account. Where if you're out using it, you ought to know by the time before you leave your home to go shopping or whatever, you know about what your balance should be before you go out, because it's coming from the actual balance in your PayPal account. And trust me, if you go to do it, if you don't have the money to spend. I try not to spend more than what I have in that account, because I also make sure I pay my bill weekly in my PayPal account. I pay the bill from eBay automatically. Now that I'm going over to managed payments, I won't have to do that anymore. That's one of the great things.
That is cool.
Yeah.
One thing, I like to leave a little money in PayPal in case a return happens.
Exactly.
So like if you're selling $200 items and you're selling multiple of them and you have like $100 in your PayPal account, if you get like 2 returns, you have to figure out how to put cash back into your PayPal. And I had to do it one time. And I didn't, it wasn't like it was big items, but yeah, it was like $15 or something. And I was like, hey babe, can you send some money to my PayPal account? Just send like 25. She was so mad too. I was like, it's for the business. Like, I try to keep, I think I used to keep like 100 and then 200. And now I try to keep like 500 in there just because I'm selling a lot of items, and the returns, man, some people, they just don't like what they got, maybe they made a mistake or they have buyer's remorse and they're just like, yeah, I don't want it for whatever reason. So, and one VCR I shipped off recently, the buyer sent a picture. It was busted. The UPS had dropped it or it fell. Yeah. So what I said to him was, oh man, I can't believe that happened. Does it still work? And they haven't sent anything back and they haven't started a refund or anything. So I think it works. It's just cosmetic. But yeah, I never like, okay, if somebody sends you a message about something, don't be the one to be like, I'll give you a full refund. like you do want to be that guy, but you do not want to offer it because that VCR is probably fine. He's probably going to watch some of his old videos, but it's more headache for you. And it's a hit if you say, look, I'll refund you 100% because they may not buy another VCR from you. And, so just don't, I mean, you want to be honest with these people, but I wouldn't be the one to just give them the money,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also want to welcome Dan, the answer man, in the chat. And we also have Tamara, that's Yellow Brick Road Reseller. She's back in the chat. Welcome.
And Kelly Pickard James showed up.
Oh, that's
Kelly,
cool
welcome. Kelly Picker James. He just did a video of what he bought at a garage sale.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that one, go check that one out. He just put a new video.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reseller on the Road says he does partial refunds. That's pretty cool. And I don't know. I always fear if I do a partial that they'll just like hit you with the return or a refund. And then it's like, I want to ask him, does eBay know that you already gave him like $20 or do they automatically suck that full price out of you? Because that's why I'm always hesitant.
What happened to me just recently was a lady had bought something from me and she sent me an email saying that she bought the item thinking it was the right size. It was a pet carrier, brand new, never opened, never used. And she sent me a message saying that she didn't realize that I had the actual size of the description in the description bar and in the descriptions of the actual pieces of the item that was sold. Now, she did send me back a message, and then I told her, I said, go ahead and start a return. I said, because I cannot do it because she wanted me to cancel it. So I can't. So I went on ahead and, I'm sorry to hear that's happened. You got to be give them some type of insurance that you're with them on their side. But in the same token, you're like, okay, I know you did wrong because you knew it was in the description in there. Why the hell you did this? But anyway, because I offer free shipping and then free returns, when I went to do the return after I received the package item back, they automatically have to check off one of the boxes saying what's wrong. Why was it returned? Even though they filled out their return slip, I did not give her a full refund because she even told me in the email, charge me, take it out of the amount that I cost for shipping. It was not your fault, which it wasn't. And I said, well, thank you so much. And so when I went to do the return, that's what happened. And so I had to wait for her to verify it because she did get her return on money. And I was able to relist it. But 9 times out of 10, once you go to fill out the return form and then you get your part back, a lot of times they won't let you do the full return because if it was something that was either not described, you get the full return. And if it wasn't, then you get a partial return. But yeah, sometimes you can do a partial return with no problem. But eBay will see that immediately.
Okay. And man, you guys call eBay a lot? I call eBay every now and then. Definitely when I first started, I called them all the time, but they're really nice people. Some of them. I mean,
now because of the situation lately, and if you can't get in touch with them, I have not had any problems getting through to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through your help and top tab at the top of the eBay store, you hit the help part and contact. You go down to the descriptions of the different categories. If you put that in, if they're too busy, you can put your name on there for them to call you, and they'll tell you how long is the waiting time. They will call you back.
Yep.
And if you don't want to do that, you can also go to Facebook. If you're on Facebook, go to eBay resellers or eBay for
Business.
eBay for business. You can contact them through there, and they will contact you back. May take up to 12 hours, but they will contact you back and get you a result of what you need to help you through it.
Yeah, Tommy Bernhard said they don't do free shipping. And yeah, I've debated on doing like free shipping or calculated. I don't know, man. I just thought because of the fast and free tab, it looks good. But yeah, I've debated it quite a bit, man.
I do it both ways. It just depends on
the item.
Something I can ship first class, I might do free shipping. But once it starts getting to be 2 pounds, I charge calculated.
It's good thinking.
And I specify when I make the lot description, I say shipping weight, what it weighs, so the buyer knows how, when they see that price, that's why it's that price, because it's that many pounds.
True. Some people don't know anything about shipping rates, though.
I do free shipping because my stuff takes a
no clue
to ship out, so I do free shipping.
If they buy on Amazon, they know all about free shipping, but not, I've seen a lot of eBay sellers and they don't have any trouble with charging for shipping. They still sell a lot.
Do y'all all
Right.
do free returns?
Yes,
I do.
because I get a discount for preferred seller. Um, I still have trouble calculating, how much I actually got, but it's I always see a tab on my invoice where I got back some of
I
my
see.
fees.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just see it as like, I mean, if you order anything online, I expect a free return. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be on that level of the big dogs out there. I don't want to be like, I just think it's shady. Someone's like no returns on an old CD changer. It's like, well, come on, man. What if it doesn't work? Like,
I just had a guy bought something for me that he, I listed it as new in the open box, and the styrofoam had some damage to it that he didn't like. The item was in perfect shape, and he said, "Well, I paid you for shipping," and I said, "Yeah, just go in, open a item not as described, and you can print a label." Well, he said he didn't have a printer. And he said, I can't believe you just don't want to let me keep the truck and refund me. And I said, no, that's a good truck. I want it back. So you send it back and I'll give you a refund. Well, by the time it finally got back to me, I went into the PayPal transaction and there was it was just for the cost of the truck because he didn't do the return shipping through eBay. So he got all mad and I said, I'm not going to send you a PayPal for that amount. I refunded completely what you paid, in PayPal and no more. So people aren't good at following instructions sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, I found that I'm still having the same amount of sales. I'm still having the same very few returns. Like this next one I got coming in. The person thought it was a plug-in type item of a fire smoke detector. And instead, he said he didn't want to deal with the instructions because it looked like it was too hard to do, and he just wanted something to plug into a plug-in. And so I just told him, just go ahead and do a return.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't see that when it just came in the mail. I do everything through my PO box.
Yeah.
I don't want just to have everybody have my address.
Right.
Well, that's why I have a PO box where it goes there. So I know it came in after the mail closed, and I couldn't pick it up anyway. So I'm waiting to go back Monday, and then I'll do a refund as long as it's not open. And if it does, when you go to do your return, you don't get a full return on stuff like that. And that's what I like about it. They will let you do your return, but they won't let you do the full refund if you have a problem with it when they came back.
Yeah, and you might also want to videotape the box before you open it and while you're opening it.
Always do.
I've heard of that too.
Yeah.
If I have a return, I'm opening it and I'm filming it from the time I pick it up at the door, the time I get back to my eBay room, and when I'm opening it.
Right.
Yeah. I've always done that.
Videos are very powerful nowadays,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, even if you have it in your description, as far as if it doesn't play or you didn't test it or whatever, selling it for parts, you still have to cover yourself when it comes to things like that if it's being returned. Because sometimes I've seen some horror stories where some people have gotten returns. It wasn't even the item, or say, for example, it's got a model number on something.
Right.
It's a totally different model number to return it, and it wasn't what they bought. Then, of course, eBay's going to side with you.
I think some people are buying with their cell phone too, and they read the title of the listing, but they don't go down and read the description if there's like not tested or whatever, and they get it and they find out it's not working and they don't want it.
And that's the best thing about any description that you put on your video, on your eBay stores, on any item. That is the best thing to do, is make sure you not only type it out, and I do mine. Like if I did something I didn't test it and I put it in high cap letters, or if it says to see a photo, please see photo of, and I put like maybe some shelf damage or shelf life damage or whatever it may be.
In the title?
Pictures, I put it inside the description box, but I put it all in caps.
Well, in the description. He's saying like they just read the title and photo and they buy it.
Yeah, and they don't look at the description. Yeah. A lot of people do that. They'll tell you, I didn't read the description.
I don't. I read everything.
Yeah, a lot of that happens with clothes, man. People are like, what's the size? I'm like, dude, I already measured it and wrote it down, and I'll send it again, and 9 times out of 10, those people don't buy anything. A lot of the questions I get for items, those aren't the people buying it. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta answer it, though. It looks bad if you don't answer,
But just
eBay
like
knows-
sometimes you might get an item that somebody's looking at and you say all of a sudden it's in their basket, or are they looking at it, or are they watching it, or they put it in their basket. It doesn't matter because there's other people still watching it because they don't want you to sell it, or they wait for theirs to sell. And I've heard that before too.
I don't know who said it, whose video I heard it on, but I heard him say if you send somebody, if they're on your watch list and you send them an offer, that eBay automatically moves that item up in the search so more people can see it. And I don't know if there's anything to
if
that
you
or
do
not.
what? I'm sorry.
If you have like a watch list, people are watching, your items,
Right.
and you go and you send them an offer, then that item automatically gets moved up in the rankings for search.
I
Because
believe that. Absolutely. So I was telling Brittany at Essential Endeavors, her and I have been collabing a little bit, and I always send that minimum of 5% off offer anytime I see a watcher on an item, and half the time somebody else pays full price and buys it.
yeah,
It's not even the person I offered, and I never know why, but that's probably why. Because
That's
they're
That happens to me a lot.
eBay's like pushing that out. And
Yep.
that's one thing I didn't understand. eBay actually pushes your item to people. It's not like people are typing in Google what it is. They're pushing it to people who might have, looked up a similar item. They'll put it in that little bar at the bottom. That's
And
awesome.
then I've also heard if you have like 1 day turnaround time, they push those items up in the search too. So I have, 1 day on all my listings.
Yeah. I took my advice from a gentleman. He's 54. He's my father's age. And he was making $100K a year. And he works for the DOD. He's like a GS-13. But his wife was like his full-time like shipper for the most part. And he told me to set it up fast and free, 1 day handling. And he said, look at the top listing that sold and kind of cut under that a little bit. And he that's what he does, man. And I followed him. He uses a white towel as his background. He does not do he doesn't do the lights. He doesn't do any of that. He just uses a white
Oh, wow.
towel. Yeah. And he sells like crazy. He does like makeup. I mean, anything, tires, makeup, whatever has profit, he will buy and sell.
Wow.
But he's very good like talking to people. So like he knows if somebody's BSing him or not. And he's a good, like he's the kind of guy you want to be his friend. So yeah, he's been doing it about 7 years. And he said the first couple of years it was like 20, 30,000. And then he like ramped it up big time and started making a lot of money. And he's told a couple of people about it. And now they make like full-time income. They've quit the DOD to do full-time reselling. So
Well, if you're willing to put in the work, you can definitely make money doing this. But if you think you're going to just sit at home and put a few items up and watch them sell, it's not going to work. You got to work.
Gotta put the time into it.
do you you said you do it now that you're retired, Michael, you do it just for like a hobby, I guess? Is that what it is?
No, I kind of need it to help me pay my doctor bills.
Okay. Because okay. Do you what would you recommend as like a full-time amount of sales or items? I don't know, gross sales a year maybe? Because I'm trying to figure that number. I don't know if it's like $200,000 in gross sales or a year, to kind of, I don't know.
Well, I'm not on that level, but I find the more items, that I get into my store, the more frequently my sales are every day. And I try to list at least 10 items a day.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that also moves you up in the search.
See, I've heard about listing every day, and I batch list. So I'll list, like last night, I think I listed like 15, 20 items. And then today I sourced all my items. So I'll clean all of them. And then tomorrow I may list all of them because I feel like I don't deserve to buy more inventory if I don't get it listed, but I don't like doing it every day because I don't know.
I use Octiva. You can go to Octiva.com and then I create my listings on there, and I can actually set a timer. And like I like my listings to go up between 7 and 10 o'clock every night.
Yeah,
because I think that's when people are looking. And when they start drilling down the categories, they see the listings that are coming on. It costs a little bit, but it's well worth it. They host your pictures. They keep track of your sales. You can send out, I just shipped your item, post your feedback. It really automates a lot of that. It might help you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I see, and that's the whole thing. There is so much information out there, and that's why it's good to check everybody's channel out, because some people, they delve into one thing and then it works for them. I know it works for me, and it's hard for me to to try something new. But if you see somebody producing numbers, it's like, well, yeah, there's got to be something to it, you know.
Also,
That's
if you look at one of the items in my store, above every item there's a scroll bar, and while you're looking at the description and the picture of that item, you're seeing a bar with everything scrolling one at a time across the top. So you actually, you see everything. It just sits there and scrolls item by item.
Wow.
Now I've heard from different others too, but the other channels that I watch, everyone's different. But there are some that I watch that they want to, if they need to make, for example, old school picker, he will take and he knows he needs to make, say, 2,000 a week. What his goal is. He breaks that down by the day. How many? There's 7 days, so he divides that by 7, and that's how much he needs to sell money wise per day. No matter how many items it takes to get to that amount to make his goal for 2,000 a week.
I see. Yeah.
So it depends on, and that's the way he does it. Everybody else is doing it a little different. But 9 times out of 10, if they know they want to make a certain amount, then they know they have to sell that amount by basically listing to them. They feel that if you list that amount, you want to making that amount. So the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, no matter what it is.
I think everybody who's selling on eBay right now, if they're any good at all, is in tall cotton, because ever since, I don't want to mention it, but why people are not going to the store and everything, eBay's just been busier than normal. And whatever you're doing right now, I wouldn't necessarily count on that being that way forever. It is a good time to build up your store, but you have your ebbs and flows. So
Yeah, sure.
I like the model of having, like what Sean was saying about mowing some grass or doing some other things, when he has time, and then doing eBay the other time. That's probably a good strategy, unless you're really just killing it.
Yeah. And that's what's good about watching other channels. You may find something that might work for someone else, may not work for you. But the best thing about doing this is that you can do your own thing to where you can find out what works for you. And it may be a couple of trial and errors, but you're the only one that can really figure out what works best for you in your model for your business and in your goals, wherever you may want to be in your selling endeavor. Yvette says, last week during the Chicago storm, couldn't list anything for a week due to power, so no internet, no sales dipped. Yeah, you always have to be ready for that kind of stuff too. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I've got backup power here. Like I said, there's 2 hurricanes coming, and so I'm ready. If I'll at least ship out. I might not be listing, but I'll be shipping. That is provided the post office is open. It can get pretty bad here.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, I'd like to say thank you for having me on.
Me too.
Thank you for coming.
I got a roll. I'm eating with my mother-in-law, and I got to hang out with the wife. And I appreciate you guys having me on. Michael, it's great meeting you. Larry, it was excellent.
I want to thank everybody, because I had a good time, and it was a great opportunity for me. I'm glad to be here, Johnny, and nice to meet you.
Thank y'all so much for coming too.
And nice to meet you, Larry. You didn't say
nice to meet you too.
Yeah, thanks everyone in the chat too. I appreciate you guys, with your questions and your feedback. I try to answer a lot of the questions, and yeah, I had a blast, man. I'm going to be on again. We'll set something up, Johnny. Saturdays are good for me because we're on the different, time.
Okay. Yeah, because usually we go for an hour, but as long as the chat is interacting, we go as long as it takes.
Sure.
I really want to thank every one of y'all.
Thank
you. We'll go ahead and end this now. But I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Don't forget to go subscribe. If you missed the links to their channels, it's in the description bar below in the video. Make sure you go and check them out and support them as well. And as I always say before I end the show, I never say goodbye. I always say later. Love is free. Love all you always. And then thank y'all for y'all's love and support. I just stay there for a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and end the chat with our
live long and prosper.
Yeah. Like a little.
And the mic's going to mute us for a few minutes. Stay there for a few minutes. We'll talk again.
Okay.